Don't look at me like that." Clara Hale's trembling voice broke through the silence of the dry valley plains, carried by the scorching wind. It wasn't modesty she begged for. It was the last ounce of dignity she still clung to. Her once white dress was now shredded into ribbons, torn apart by the ropes that bound her hands and ankles. Each tug made the fabric rip wider, leaving her bruised skin bare against the cruel heat. The sun blazed above, merciless, unrelenting. Sweat mingled with blood as it trickled down her dust-streaked face. Her wrists bled where the coarse rope bit deeper. Her ankles throbbed, swollen from the strain. Every jolt of the wooden carriage sent waves of pain through her body. Walking beside the wagon was Miles Grady, his eyes glinting with wicked amusement. He wasn't in any rush. He wanted to savor every moment of her suffering. "Pretty little thing," he sneered, his grin cutting like a knife. "They'll pay double for you, maybe triple." The wagon wheels creaked and groaned, shrieking like tortured souls. Clara tried to cry out, but her voice cracked and broke, lost in the vast emptiness. The plains stretched endlessly, golden grass bending under the burning wind. No houses, no riders, no mercy. Her father, Sheriff Hale, was miles away, sound asleep, unaware that his only daughter had been stolen under the shroud of night. Out here, no one could hear her. No one would come. Miles climbed onto the wagon, his shadow falling over her trembling frame. He grabbed her chin, forcing her to meet his cold eyes. "You think someone's comin' for you?" His voice was low, almost calm, making it even more terrifying. "You'll belong to me till I sell you. That's your only future." Clara jerked her head away, but his grip tightened, fingers digging into her jaw until her teeth ached. The sting of his touch burned worse than the ropes. She bit her lip, refusing to cry. She wouldn't give him that satisfaction. But Miles was patient. He enjoyed watching courage crumble piece by piece. Leaning close, he whispered against her ear, his breath hot and vile. "By sunrise, you'll wish you were dead." Her chest went cold, her heart pounding so hard it hurt. The wagon rattled on, wheels thudding against the cracked earth. Clara's gaze searched the horizon for hope, but there was none. Just the endless road and the echo of his laughter. Her thoughts drifted to the homestead, her father's stern but kind face, the laughter of workers at dusk, the smell of bread from the kitchen. It all felt like a dream slipping away. Tears welled in her eyes. "Please," she whispered to no one, "someone, save me." Miles laughed, a cruel sound that pierced the dry wind. He cracked his whip, the horses bolted, and the wagon lurched forward. Her body slammed against the boards, pain exploded through her ribs. Her vision blurred. She tasted blood. The world spun into chaos. Dust filled her lungs. Fear was all that remained. The sky bled into twilight. Shadows stretched long. Miles's figure loomed over her like a demon. The ropes dug deeper. Her spirit flickered like a dying flame. But even as night fell, one question lingered. Would this be her last one? Darkness swallowed the plains. Clara lay tied in the wagon, her breaths shallow, every heartbeat echoing in her ears. Her dress was little more than rags now. Her body trembled in the chill. She drifted in and out of consciousness, caught between pain and fading dreams. Then It happened. The thunder of hooves in the distance, not one horse, but many. Miles' head snapped up. Panic flashed across his face. He cursed, yanked the reins. The wagon jolted violently, throwing Clara hard against the side. Her cry vanished in the chaos. The riders closed in, men with torches and guns. Miles shoved her down and ran, using her suffering as a distraction. The wagon broke free, crashing down the slope. The wheels shattered with a deafening crack. Clara hit the ground hard. Pain seared through her side. The world went black. When silence returned, the attackers were gone. The night grew still again. The moon climbed high, silver and cold. Clara lay among the wreckage, bleeding, broken, whispering a prayer no one could hear. Hours passed. The wind howled. The first light of dawn stretched across the Dry Valley plains. Then, hooves, slow, steady.
A lone rider approached. Elias Boone, a weathered rancher of 58, guiding his old mare toward the river for water. His beard was silver, his back stiff, but his eyes were still sharp. He'd seen outlaws, thieves, the worst of men, but nothing prepared him for what he found that morning. The mare stopped, uneasy. Elias frowned. A trail of blood led toward an overturned carriage by the riverbank. He followed it. At first he thought it was a corpse, a girl tangled in ropes, her white dress shredded, her arms limp. Blood streaked her skin. He knelt, brushing dirt from her cheek. Her skin was cold, but then he felt it, a faint breath. "She's alive," he whispered. He cut the ropes gently. The fibers were soaked in blood. As they fell away, Clara stirred. Her lips moved. Her eyes blinked open, fogged with terror. She stared at him and whispered, Don't look at me." Elias froze, not from shock, but from fury. He understood instantly what cruelty she'd endured. He covered her with his coat, gave her a sip from his canteen. Her trembling fingers clutched the water as if it were life itself. For the first time since her nightmare began, she saw kindness. Now, folks, if you're still with me, this story's just getting started. Before we ride into the next part, don't forget to subscribe, like, and drop your thoughts below. The next turn in this tale will leave you speechless. The sun climbed higher, warming the riverbank where Elias had laid Clara beneath his coat. Her breathing steadied, though pain still marked her face. Elias scanned the horizon, instincts sharp from a lifetime out here. And sure enough, trouble was comin'. Miles Grady had escaped the night before, but his rage brought him back. He wanted revenge and silence. Elias saw him first, a lone rider cutting across the golden plain. The rancher's jaw tightened. His hand dropped to his revolver. Miles dismounted, smirking. "Well, well, looks like you picked up what's mine." "She belongs to nobody," Elias said, stepping between them. The tension cracked like lightning. Miles raised his gun. The first shot rang out. Elias ducked and returned fire. The duel echoed across the valley, bullets sparking off the wagon wreck. Clara stirred too, weak to scream. The fight grew fierce. Miles lunged, slamming into Elias. The guns tumbled away. Now it was fists, raw and brutal. Dust swirled around them as they grappled, rage meeting resolve. Elias fought like a man who'd seen too much loss. He struck clean, steady, unflinching. One hard blow sent Miles sprawling into the dust. Elias grabbed his weapon, fired a warning shot near his head. For the first time, Miles looked afraid. Elias tied him with the same ropes that had held Clara. His voice was cold as iron. "You'll face the law and pay for every scream she ever made." Clara watched, half-conscious, relief and exhaustion mixing in her eyes. Elias turned to her. "It's over. You're safe now." But safety in the frontier was never simple. As the dust settled, Sheriff Hale, her father, rode into view. His face was pale when he saw his daughter alive, but his eyes flicked to the old rancher standing beside her and the unspoken bond between them. Elias hitched Miles to the wagon, hauled him upright, and began the long ride back to Boone homestead. Clara lay weak but breathing, wrapped in Elias's coat. By the time they reached the ranch, the sun was high. Elias lifted her gently, carried her inside, and laid her on a clean bed. For the first time in days, she slept in peace. That night, Elias sat by the fire. The outlaw was locked in the barn under heavy chains. He stared at the flames, listening to the quiet breathing of the girl he'd saved. He thought his best days were gone, but life had surprised him once more. At dawn, Elias delivered Miles to the sheriff. There would be a trial, and justice would come, though scars like Clara's never truly fade. Days passed. Clara grew stronger. She helped feed the animals, fetched water, watched Elias work. Her gratitude turned to warmth. Elias felt it too, but hid it behind weathered silence. The world would question a bond like that, yet the heart doesn't measure years, it measures kindness. Weeks later, Sheriff Hale returned. The reunion was filled with tears, relief, and quiet understanding. He thanked Elias for saving her life, though his eyes said more than words. Clara hugged her father, but when she looked back at Elias, her eyes whispered, "This isn't goodbye." And that's where we'll leave them. A girl who found hope after horror, a man who rediscovered his purpose, and a land that still held both darkness and light. If this story touched your heart, folks, hit that like button, leave your thoughts in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter from the Wild West. Because every tale out here carries a lesson, and this one's about courage, kindness, and the light that survives even the darkest night.